Hi there YouTube, Father Freedom 1776 here. I had a request to do a review of the Ruger LPC light carry pistol. Okay, so I can give you about 10 minutes of my time here, let you know what I think about it. Got an empty mag well, chamber is empty as well, magazine is empty. Okay, so we're completely safe here. Safety's number one, don't want to see nobody getting hurt here. Okay, sights. It's my biggest complaint. Okay, now I know the reason why they did it, low snag, stuff like that, but as most of us know, self-defense situations usually happen at about 7 to 10 feet in low light. Okay, so trying to acquire these sights in a low light situation is going to be next to impossible. Okay, that's why we invested in Crimson Trace laser grips. Okay, now this just attaches to the trigger guard. There's no modification needed to the weapon at all. It simply activates as in your grip. There is a pressure pad. As you're gripping the weapon, laser is activated, and you release, it shuts off. Okay, so that is great. We took this to the range, took us about 5 minutes and maybe 10 rounds. Sight this in right on the money. Okay, our range is 25 yard range, and at 25 yards, we got it right dead on. And even up and close, the minuscule amount of difference is not even really to be talked about. Okay, it's right where it needs to be. One thing about this, there is no safeties. Okay, this little thing you see over here is just a manual slide lock. When I say manual, is because that when this fires its last round, our empty magazine, it does not lock to the rear. Okay, but if you manually it will stay. Okay, not too sure why a lot of these little pistols, they don't put the guts in there for it to be able to have a last round hold back, but that's one of my other gripes that I don't really like about these little pistols. So we have sights, horrible, no last round lock back, very small grip. Okay, now my wife on the other hand, she likes the Crimson Trace, she doesn't like the sights, she likes the smaller grip, but she hates the recoil. Now the recoil is not bad, but she was shooting protection loads, not plus Ps, because Ruger does not recommend that you fire plus Ps in the LCP, but it is a little snappy, and it makes you kind of feel like, even in my experience, that you have to adjust your grip after every round you fire. Sure, in a life or death situation, you're not going to be too worried about that. You'll probably, hopefully you can make it happen and come together, but it is something to think about. The trigger pull on here is very heavy. It's about 6 pounds. I understand that because of the fact that there is no external safeties. I'm not sure if there is a safety somewhere in the trigger mechanism, like for say, Glocks or something else, but there very well could be. That'd be something that you might have to look into, and maybe I'll give you more of an idea. Like I talked about, it is a 380. Ammunition for a 380 is kind of hard to come by, and usually when you do find it, it is somewhat expensive. Okay, so it's another thing to think about is what kind of volume of shooting do you plan to do with this. Obviously you do need to do enough to become proficient and be able to get to the range at least once a month to run through your skills, because shooting is a perishable skill. If you don't do it, you will lose it. Most people, unless it is ingrained in them through a long-term military law enforcement process, they will lose those skills over time. I try to go to the range at least once a month, preferably once a week if I can. I know a lot of people don't have the luxury of that. I feel sorry for you. I really do. Here in Ohio, we have a lot of ranges. We have a lot of freedoms here to go out into public areas and do shooting and stuff along that. And we have a lot of concealed carry around these parts where I'm from. So, and I do see a lot of these, and I hear that mostly the same complaints from the people that I talk to, just about the sights, trigger, and the small grip itself. But with the accuracy, though, the accuracy is phenomenal. So it just really comes down to what you're looking for. If you're looking for a deep concealment carry pistol and you're willing to spend about $500, you can accomplish it with this platform. You can also accomplish it with a Glock 26, which is a little bit wider, it's a little bit heavier, bigger magazine capacity. Do your own little reviews. Check and open up a whole bunch of tabs on your window and go through and look at all the different things and the aspects before you go out and you drop $300, $400, $500, $600 on your weapon. You want to make sure that it's what you really want. I know some places don't have return policies or whatever it may be, but make sure it's what you're looking for. If you know somebody that has one of these that you're looking at, ask them if you can fire it. Take them to the range, buy them dinner, something. See if it's what you really, really want. Because the last thing you want to do is spend your hard-earned money on something that doesn't work out for you. Okay, so this has just been a little bit of review, of the Ruger LCP. A couple other things, I don't really need to go into with you guys too much. You can find out, your heights and widths and weights. It's very small, very slim, very light. Okay, so there you go. One thing I will mention though is your slide. Okay, it is steel. It's not aluminum. It's not really like your hard coat anodized or anything like that. So prolonged exposure to moisture, regardless if it be maybe in how you carry. I know some people carry in what's called the smart carry holster. It kind of sits in the groin area, and if you're prone to sweating or doing a lot of work, this slide will rust. Okay, so that's something that you need to think about, before how you're going to carry it, where you're going to carry at. And another thing that I'd say is people carry, try and find one system that works with you. Okay, I know a whole lot of people that, well, when I'm going here I carry this and I carry it underneath my arm, and when I'm going here I carry it over here on my hip, or if I'm going here I just carry my ankle holster. Okay, now you hear me always talking about being proficient. Okay, and it's simple. I'm big on being proficient, what works, and it's simple. Try to carry one way all the time. Practice with that one way all the time. That way you can ingrain that muscle memory. That way when that situation comes, it won't even be like you're thinking about, okay, drawing. You just naturally do what you need to do, present your weapon, and take the proper steps from there. So try not to get yourselves overburdened with, if you're like me, I have, I don't know, 50 holsters that I've tried throughout the years looking for that perfect holster. Okay, this one seems to work the best for the Ruger. And this is a Black Hawk, I believe it's size 1. Okay, fits in here very well. It does have a retention strap that you can choose to use. Even as without the retention strap, it seems to hang in there pretty good. Okay, I wouldn't really suggest doing that with a loaded weapon, of course, but it is one thing. If your holster cannot hold its gun, it should not fall out. Okay, you could be going to the bathroom in a public restroom or something, taking your pants down. You don't want your gun to fall all over the floor, maybe inadvertently discharge. Okay, so, but just kind of our thoughts on the Ruger. It is a really, really good gun. It just, for my size hands, and like I said, my wife does prefer to carry a little bit larger than that. So it's something to think about before you spend the money. What works for you. That's really what it comes down to. Okay, so Have a happy, safe Halloween.